Hi everybody, I'm Cammy, and this is Cammy's Cam. I'm going to start vlogging, so like, subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do. And hopefully this video encourages a lot of people who are struggling to take that NCLEX, want to be a nurse, or are already a nurse, because I have some tips. I'll tell you all what happened with me. I'll tell you all my basic journey. So anyways, as of August 14, 2015, I was declared with my unofficial results of RN, a registered nurse. And my journey started as when I was little. I always wanted to be a somebody that take care of babies and children, so I always wanted to own a daycare. But then my dad said I always used to talk about wanting to be a labor and delivery nurse, which is still what I want to be. Like, that is where my heart is. So I've always, with that, maybe I say, my cousin Erica, my older cousin Erica Shiver Williams, she was an inspiration to me, so I did everything she did. She went to child development class in high school. I did that. She went to health science classes. I did that. So in health science, that's where I finally decided that I probably really wanted to be a nurse. That was about 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. With my teacher named Miss Tawanda Addison, she was like the perfect teacher. So I started health science classes. We started doing clinicals, and there I found out I had a problem. I could not stand blood, needles, organs, all the messy stuff, but really blood and needles. So I started praying about it, and God delivered me eventually. And um, in I guess in clinicals one day, I was in clinicals one day. I got sick and dizzy. I recorded myself, okay? I'm making a vlog for YouTube. So in clinicals, I got sick and dizzy from somebody getting an IV. I started falling back to the wall. I was sweating hot, fainted, everything. And the nurse had to take me out the room, sit me down, give me a soda and crackers. Like, that's how bad it was. And that was just from seeing somebody get an IV. But eventually, I got my CNA in 2009 before I graduated from high school. I had my first job at the nursing home. And then I went to college. I went to Francis Marion. There I did not do the best. My grades went up and down, up and down. So eventually I went to guidance counselor, and she told me basically to change my major. And I don't think you should ever tell anybody to do that, especially if it's something they really want to do. So that right there was a no-no. You don't tell me to change my major. Like, if God blesses you with something that you know is your purpose, you go for it. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it. So then I ended up going to tech for a semester. I did pretty decent there. I got some A's and B's. Then I went back to Francis Marion, where my grades still went up and down, up and down. So eventually my friend Beyondria, she told me she went to South University for their nursing program, and it's fast paced. So I ended up going there, and like automatically with all my prereq courses, I ended up getting 4.0s, A's after A's after A's, like non-stop. So in my head, I'm like, what in the world is going on? I'm happy, but that made me like, what? That made me think, like, what was wrong with my other school? So eventually, I applied for the nursing program. I took the TEAS test, passed that on the first time with a good grade. I got accepted on the first time, and then I was finally in the nursing program. And there it takes about 18 months. So I started, got her, had already was in the process of delivering me from my sickness and dizziness and nausea from the IVs and needles and blood that I used to see. So I was eventually getting used to it. I did not get sick no more, barely. And then also I want to tell y'all that I would be the first nurse on both sides of my family, my mom and my dad's side. My grandma wanted to be a nurse. My mom wanted to be kind of, and my sister started off thinking she wanted to be a nurse, but she changed. So I would be officially the first nurse, which would make everybody so proud, and myself, because I'm trying to do this for myself, and I will do it for myself, and I did do it for myself. You have to speak things into existence, because when Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. But anyways, I started nursing school, and it was very challenging. Like, I think that's one of the hardest things I had to do ever. And the most nerve-wracking thing, I mean, ever, was skills checkoffs. One of them, you only get like 2 chances to pass them at my school, and I forgot which one it was, but I know I ended up having to take it again, and I was so nervous. It was the medicine, passing medication check off. I didn't pass the first time. I cried in front of the clinical instructor. She gave me some words of advice. Her name was Miss June Smith. She's very, her face, she has a demeanor that makes you think she's serious, which she is serious. But she helps you along the way. She helps you get it right. So she definitely helped me when I went crying that day. So eventually I did nursing school. Everything came out okay. I was not the top in the class, but I wasn't the bottom. Pretty good. My grades was pretty good, even though it was challenging, but everything was pretty good. So I did it, and we had the ATI testing stuff during nursing school, which I really didn't like. I didn't use that to study when it came to studying for the NCLEX after I graduated, because I do not like ATI. That's just not for me. And then June 20th, I graduated from nursing school, and my pending was on the 19th. And then, like, that was the most successful thing I've ever done, other than being dedicated to God and passing my CNA. Like, I finally graduated from nursing school, something I wanted. Like, if you want it, you're gonna go get it. That's your blessing. So you got to get what you want to get. You got to work for it. You just can't expect things to come for you. So after all the crying, tears, fussing with my boyfriend, who was my boyfriend, I finally did it. Graduated, and on graduation day, this happened. My fiance proposed to me and shocked the crap out of me, because a week before we were talking about it. He was like, well, if I didn't do it yet, I'm not ready. I mean, when it happens, it happens. You'll know when I'm ready, because I'll do it. So after that, I figured it wasn't going to happen for a few years or months or days or whatever. But he surprised me. He said, what's one thing you would really, really, really want for your gift? I said a kiss, because I didn't want to be embarrassed with all those people. At first, I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was just saying a big thank you, because he has a big mouth. He loves to talk. But then once he started asking me what's the one thing I really want, in the back of my head, I'm thinking to be engaged so we can get married, because I love you like crap. So I told him a kiss, just because. He said, well, he gave me a kiss. Then he said, and then he dropped down on one knee and asked me to be his wife. So I said yes, of course. Then after that, and Pia was there the whole way. Pia, that's my girl. That girl is, she'll go to the moon and back for you. She is a true friend. And my fabulous five got me, Pia, Jansra, Nikki, and Cree. We went through nursing school together. We had some ups and downs, but it was all good. So anyways, after that, I purchased the Hurst review on June 26th after graduating on June 20th. I did 2 to 3 videos a day, and then after that, I would replay the videos while I go to sleep, because they say when you replay videos while you're sleeping and listening to stuff, it stays in your memory. So I did that, and then I also use UWorld. I did at least 75 questions a day. My studying was back and forth. Like the first month or the first 3-4 weeks, I didn't do questions. I more was content, Hurst videos straight. And then I did some lab values every day so I could keep those in my memory. So I did the Hurst, 2 to 3 videos a day, went back over it, did UWorld. I did at least 75 questions of UWorld. Then I found some Quizlet stuff that my friend Pia, she gave them to me. It was some Kaplan question trainers. I ended up doing those like the last 2 weeks before I took the test. Like I did Hurst review questions one day, the next day I did Kaplan, then Hurst questions, then Kaplan. And with the Hurst questions, my grades were 50, 48, 50, 56, 64, and 51%. And then with the Kaplan question trainer, those scores I had a 56, 61, 49, 60, 59, 56, 56. So as you can see, my grades were not perfect, but that's what I used to study. So And also I use a Kaplan question strategies book, 2014-2015, for the NCLEX-RN, and that helped too. I did some of those questions, but I at least try to do 75 questions a day. And I know that last week before I took the test, I was probably doing like 200, 300 questions a day. My anxiety was to the top. My stress was to the top because I was going through some stress with, couples argue. So I was going through that. Was going through crying, thinking about the test. I lost like 4 pounds before the test that last week because I was just sick and stressing. And then the day before my NCLEX, I was going to take my NCLEX on August the 12th. So August the 11th, I had a doctor's appointment. I went to my fiance's parents' house to watch and play with my niece and nephew. I just did stuff to get my mind off the test. However, I did study at the doctor's office. I couldn't help it. I ended up just doing a few flashcards and a study guide I found online, but it was very quick. It was not a strenuous study like I was used to doing. Then the day of my test was 8 a.m. I woke up about 5:30, left probably about 6 because I was anxious, and I lived about 45 minutes away from the testing center, 30 minutes, something like that. So I got there like an hour early. I sat in the car, did some lab values, prayed, and then I went in the center. And not to mention that morning, that night, I could not sleep. I was sick to my stomach. I was nauseated, tummy rolling, and I kind of threw up, spit up in the sink while I was brushing my teeth. Like, I was sick. I was not expecting that. So I got in the testing center early. They did my fingerprints. They took my picture. They did not pat me down and stuff like everybody said. I did take a soda in there with like a Nutri-Grain bar because I didn't eat breakfast because I was so sick. And I had problems to where my sugar feel like it gets low a lot, but it didn't bother me. I think my nerves were so bad. So I took my drink and my snack in there with me, put it in my locker. Then they took me into the test. They gave me a dry erase board, my pen, and I had my dry eraser board, my pen. My camera just went off. I don't know why, but sorry. I had my dry eraser pen, and my earplugs. I took the test. I had 265 questions, like 43 SATA questions, and I only had an hour and 13 minutes left. I ended up taking maybe just 2 breaks. I did take a break. I got to eat a half of my bar because I did not have an appetite. And after the test, I went and sat in the car. I called my mom, cried a little bit. Hopefully she didn't know because wasn't boo-hooing crying. I was just a few tears. Then I got a text from my friend saying she passed, and she had the same amount of questions as me, so that gave me some hope. I had all 265 questions. After 75 questions, I turned my little thing off so I wouldn't be able to see the time or how many questions, but every now and then I couldn't help it. I just went back and looked. But eventually I went home. I did the Pearson View trick, and at about 2 p.m., after leaving at about 12, I got home, and about 2 p.m. I got the good pop-up because my friend forced me to. She kept begging and begging, so I did it. At 10 p.m. I got it again. So that relaxed my nerves a little bit. The next day after the test, I went shopping for my mom and got her a birthday gift. Then I did the trick again at 10 a.m. I got the good pop-up. So I was feeling pretty good, but you don't want to trust that fully. But I kind of leaned on it, and I said God brought me this far. He would not leave me. So at 10 a.m. the next morning, I found out that I passed all that morning, but when I woke up, my dad kept calling me nurse, nurse, nurse. And I'm thinking in my head, yes, I'm a nurse, but I can't say it yet because I don't know. I haven't got my results. But he said, you got it, Cammy. You did it. You are my registered nurse. And so I did it. And I already had a job since April. And then, yeah, I had a job. I got hired at the medical ICU at Richland in April because I was already working there as a tech. So I got hired there. And then I found out that I passed on my mom's birthday. And I was so happy. And I kept singing this song by, is she awake? Sounds like it. I kept singing this song by Michelle Williams. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. And I did that song. And then took my mom out to dinner for her birthday, me and the family. And I also went with my Aunt Glenda and Uncle Jack, because it was also my aunt's birthday. And then I read her this beautiful poem that I wrote, and I said something about, you're my light, you're so bright, I have you know that I'm your RN tonight. And she went ballistic. Looks like she wanted to cry. I know I cried all that day after I found out. I was shouting and dancing, you couldn't stop me. So I am officially a registered nurse. I am Tammy Shiver RN BSN, and I encourage everybody to not give up on your dreams. Keep your hope alive and do what you gotta do to pass. Like, that's what I did. If I can do it, you can do it. And if you don't pass on the first time, that's just God's plan. He wants to prepare you for better. So don't lose faith. You can do it. He wouldn't have brought you this far just to leave you. Keep trying. And if you go to 265 questions, do not believe the statistics out there or whatever people say. I had 265. My friend had 265. We both passed. So you can do it. And thanks for watching Cammy's Cam. I hope this inspires you to like, subscribe, and share. Alright, bye.